Let's talk about modern cottage garden. The cottage garden is a distinct style that uses informal design, traditional materials, dense plantings, and a mixture of ornamental and edible plants. English in origin, a cottage garden depends on grace and charm rather than grandeur and formal structure. When done right, it can be a gorgeous mixture of kitchen garden, herb garden, fruit trees and shrubs, and of course flowers. It also has an amazing potential for insect pollinators. You may have noticed that herbaceous borders, herb gardens, and cottage gardens can be full of bees, hoverflies, and butterflies. Cottage garden as a gardenscape style is also best suited to include our native flora. Now, native plants are a great addition to a gardenscape. Many native plants offer beautiful showy flowers, produce abundant colorful fruits and seeds, and brilliant seasonal changes in color. Not only that, native plants are adapted to the local climate and soil conditions where they naturally occur. These important plants, they provide nectar, pollen, and seeds that serve as food for native butterflies, insects, birds, and other animals. Native plants suit today's interest in low maintenance gardening and landscaping as well, with many species vigorous and hardy and able to survive winter cold and summer heat. Once established, they can flourish without irrigation or fertilization and are resistant to most pests and diseases. In a nutshell, growing a cottage garden mix of edible plants, local flora, and even some non native beauties can be a very worthwhile effort. I have for you today a couple of examples. Let's take a look at them.
Hi, my name is Laura Kelly. I'm an SCA intern, Student Conservation Association at Tumacácori National Historical Park. I work in the gardens. We have a front garden, a courtyard garden, and a heritage orchard. So there are many wonderful natural treasures here that you may know about, but I'm hoping to share with you some new information, some new gifts, some things that you can apply to your own backyard. So let me share with you our gardens. The gardens were not just a place for people to come and find things that they needed in the form of food and medicine, etc. It was also a place for people to find things that they needed in the form of beauty and just a natural spot to relax. An effort to tell more of the story of the native plants that already existed here before the Spanish missionaries came and introduced some helpful garden plants for the residents to cultivate. So they were already cultivating and collecting wild from plants like these that are featured in the front garden. So some of these are useful for food, medicine, just like plants in the courtyard garden, but many of them are also useful just for our eyes to look at. They're just very pretty. Let's see, there's a butterfly milkweed right over here, and that's just one of 4 different types of milkweed that we have. So these are important host plants for the monarch butterfly to lay their eggs. The monarch caterpillars will only eat milkweed throughout their whole life as a caterpillar. We have nectar plants such as the Indian blanket flower over here. We have desert marigold. How to create your own monarch way station or just a habitat or an oasis for pollinators, just like we have here in the front garden. It's really easy. All you have to do is get some potter's clay, some compost or potting soil, and some native seeds. I have a mix here, about 3 tablespoons of seeds, native wildflowers. So the challenge here is to use as many different types of native seeds as you can. So the more variety you have in your pollinator garden, the more pollinators you're going to attract. Because even though the milkweed is the host plant for the monarch butterfly, these other wildflowers that you might choose can be host plants for other butterflies and pollinators too. So you're creating a habitat not only for these monarchs, but also for any other native insects that are going to be beneficial to your garden. So the more pollinators that you can attract to your garden, the better off your garden's going to be. The other good thing is with more variety comes more blooms throughout the season. So, you know, the bladderpod might bloom early in the season, the chocolate flower might bloom a little bit later, etc. So you're always going to have nectar sources for your pollinators as needed throughout the year. So after you've blended your dry ingredients together, including the seeds, you're then going to add about a 1/4 cup of water. Make as many as you can. You can give them away to friends. You can throw them into your own backyard, and you can plant them in pretty much any container that you can find. The flowers that we love to see, any fruits or vegetables or herbs that we're growing, those are going to continue to be propagated in our garden because of the pollinators that visit.
ये अश्वगंधा है। आज पाठक जी ने शुरुआत की थी अश्वगंधा से ही। उनका प्लांट पिछले वाली क्यारी में लगा हुआ है। इस क्यारी में उनकी बहू लगा रही हैं। ये हरसिंगार का पेड़ है बेटा, हरसिंगार। ये भी मेडिसिनल प्लांट होता है। हरसिंगार का पेड़ मेडिसिनल प्लांट है।
Welcome to our garden. It is a cottage style garden. Wanted to start with gorgeous red ones, flowers. It has just rained, so the flowers are a little floppy today, but that's a red calla lily. These are drumstick alliums, an onion family. The ones that are fallen down here, this is coreopsis. All great, excellent pollinators. Beautiful plants. Those, the red ones, that is crocosmia. And crocosmia is a plant which is found mostly in Africa, but has done really well in this climate. And you have, these are called echinaceas. These are cultivars. And this is a gold echinacea. White ones are Shasta Daisies. Difference between this and this has a mound in the center that is flat in the center, a typical daisy. You have black-eyed Susans here, feeling a little perky down there. This is blazing star, another excellent perennial for butterflies and bees. Pollinating animals love these kind of plants. This really tall plant is called jopai weed. This is also an excellent plant for pollinators, particularly butterflies, surrounded by Shasta daisies on all sides. This is a little friend of ours has flopped down. This is Heliopsis, a sunflower family. Excellent plant, again for pollinators, with variegated leaves. This is what I call my happiness plant. Then you have plenty of blazing stars, Shasta Daisies, Joe Pye weed, more Shasta Daisies, yellow Echinaceas, blazing stars, white Echinaceas, Crocosmia all the way back there. Crocosmia is peeking in from in between the daisies too. Those red flowers back there, they are heaven for pollinators. That's called bee balm. Should tell you that it is a great pollinator for bees. Bees use this to pollinate plants back there. I'm not sure if you can see pink, little pink plants there. That is milkweed for monarch butterflies, ready to flower. In fact, we have 3 or 4 eggs on there. And you have a great native plant called purple coneflower. This is also an echinacea, but it's a native one. This is not a cultivar. That white one is a cultivar. More coreopsis. This is Phlox down here. Astilbe, another great pollinator. Several florets on there. And its bloom time is finished, but it looks really pretty. This was pale pink, and it looks really pretty even as a dried plant. More echinaceas coming up. You have pink ones, but these are cultivars. You have gold, and then you have red. And then you have the purple natives back there. Here is a view of our little cottage bed. Just to give you a bird's eye view of most of the bed.